imaging camera.
Nice.
So this is the real deal, just so you know. This is what firemen use to actually help save people. This is not a phone app that you can download. So why would we want thermal imaging inside of a ghost hunt?
So we can see.
See what?
A ghost.
How so?
Energy.
Not energy. Too generic.
Temperature.
How so?
Well, if it's going to be cold.
Right. We're looking for cold spots. I'm just trying to get the simplest answer out of it. You're overthinking it. So William almost had it. Like he was like, he almost had it. So we're literally looking for cold spots with this guy. So tonight's temperature, I want to say I wrote down was 66 degrees for us tonight. I usually look for 15 degree plus temperature drops. So we're obviously looking for 51 and below. What we're looking for, you guys should be able to see me in there, red, orange, and yellow guy. And this could work out. Sorry, William, but I'm the hottest thing in the frame right now. So I point that out because you're going to be looking for blue and black.
Blue and black.
So that's, I'm looking for it to either take shape or to start moving on its own. We're always going to have blue and black because it's raining and windows are wet and you guys are getting the gist. I want things to move.
Okay.
When I say take shape, I want head, shoulders, moving arms and legs. Like that's what I'm looking for. And it's got to be all cold. So you're going to see hopefully something tonight. Now, does this capture something every single night? Not necessarily, but when it does, it is a holy shit moment. I'm just going to put it out there. It is a very big deal. So the other thing about your video that you need to know is the blue dot that bounces around the screen. It's there to show you the coldest spot in the frame at that particular moment. So even if we don't have like a crazy blue, black something moving around, I still kind of keep an eye on that blue dot to see where the temperature really dropped. And if I see it like common on a night like this where it's raining, obviously I'm not going to count every single one, but a matter of fact, it's going to be we do have a 31 degree something going on right here, and we had an EMF reading at the same time. So you're going to see where I'm always going to be looking for two things. So do I follow up with... There you go. You don't need to do me, you need to film everything else.
Okay.
So just try to keep somebody in view, but again, it's always nice to have a little bit of a snapshot of the space before we actually spread out,
All right.
keeping somebody in view. But you heard the name Anne. That's interesting all by itself. We'll talk about that later on. Just interesting that you heard that. William, you got anything?
Did you hear anything?
Before I give the history of the space?
Did you hear anything? Any words?
Not especially.
No?
Yeah, a lot of it's just, may not make much sense,
Yeah, just
and
tell
like
me
you said,
any little thing that you hear, buddy. So it might make sense to the location.
Maybe pay attention to the name. See if there's any names that come through.
Names and numbers.
Yeah.
Those are the two main things that come up all the time.
The 2 I heard, the number
Okay.
2.
2 is good. So hopefully something else pops up along with that to confirm it. So there's, again, 2 is a pretty common number for this location. So you're in a parking lot. Congratulations, you made it. I told you, I'm taking you to weird spaces. The other tourists don't come here because there's nothing here. So just keep in mind, video cameras, there are cars parked in here. Not many. We're fortunate enough that it's a Thursday and rainy and nobody parked here tonight. So what is this place? This used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion. I guess first off, for the 2 Spirit Box folks, I'm not going to be giving you questions like what color was George Washington's white horse. So like what we just did with the Big Red Barn. This is where I start withholding information on purpose, so that way you don't know what to listen for. That's why I want you to tell me all the little weird things that would not appear on a radio station to you. So, Charles and Eliza Pinckney, who were they? First off, you need to know that they had a son named Charles and a nephew named Charles. That's 3 different Chucks. That's why we look for secondary clues, so I know which Charles is actually coming through. So, you're kind of getting the point of that. But the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. That's a big deal for us, but I hate politics. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about Eliza instead, and that's who we're going to be hopefully getting in contact with tonight. Now, Eliza married Charles at a young age, according to today's standards. If you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, don't expect numbers from the colonial times that she came from. By the way, if the rain gets any worse than this, we will seek shelter with the equipment out now, just so you know. This is about as much as it can take. But when I say don't expect numbers like 12 and 14, think of today's standards. And I bring that up because her husband was over double her age when they got married. Kind of a creepy age gap in the 1700s, definitely a creepy age gap now. So, she married Charles because her father was over in England, and he thought he was dying. He's trying to bring all of his kids home one last time so he can see him before he dies. And Eliza didn't think he was going to die, so instead she stayed put and got married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that year to get a green card. We're not even a country yet. So she did marry him out of love, and don't poke the bear. This is a prominent English woman, so I don't think we're going to have that issue tonight. You guys seem like you're pretty respectable people. I have to usually tame down the teenagers, like don't do the yo, what's up, Eliza kind of mentality. You laugh, but I was actually going to retire the space because people were actually doing that, and I was getting very nasty messages back that was not radio chatter. So it was definitely them pushing through to give me a message, and it was like, all right, I'll give them a break. But anyway, back to Eliza. So where was I? Oh, the father. She stayed put. She was right. Dad didn't die right away. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to where we're standing right now. One of those gifts happened to be the plant seeds of indigo. You've been in town for at least a day. You've seen the word indigo somewhere. So, indigo is a plant that makes blue dye that makes her blue jeans blue. Some of you are wearing it tonight. So, she didn't know what to do with the seeds when she got it. She had to learn from her slaves and servants on how to keep it cultivated. It's obviously not warm here all the time. When she figured it out and learned how to make the dye, she moved it to a cash crop plantation, got a hold of her dad, and told him the rice plantations are going downhill, but we're going to make a killing with this indigo. And now we have an international businesswoman during colonial times, something absolutely unheard of. So, you got to see me during Women's History Month. Like, I'm a big deal, just so you know. Like, I talk about women throughout our entire evening. But that's the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird stuff, because that's why you guys are here. So, William, because you're still struggling a little bit with yours, I'm going to give you simple questions to ask of things that we commonly get the answers to. The mansion's not here. You can ask Eliza what happened to it, and then if you get the what, ask when did that happen, and hopefully we get the date. So normally if we get the what, and keep in mind, we're using 3 different communication devices tonight. So even if you're not getting the answers, Michelle might be getting the answers, I might be getting the answers. We also have 2 video cameras and my audio. The audio can come through as an EVP on the regular audio of one of those cameras. So that's why I say let's go ahead and get those things recording. It's mainly for EVP work. So your questions, I want you going straight after Eliza's death. She's pretty open about talking about it. You can ask her how old she was when she died. You can ask her what she died from, where she's buried, what president was a pallbearer at her funeral. Like these are questions that we get the answers to all the time.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know. Like I only hand out questions. Like
I know that answer.
Okay, but don't you have to ask it?
Yeah, I'll ask it.
Okay.
You do know the answer?
I do know the answer. We heard that on the tour, or a tour, I think.
You may have.
So ask the questions, right?
Yeah, so we're going to spread out a little bit.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, so I mean, we're going to explore the space. So most people like to, and I like when you guys like just go off with your own parties. We're going to stay within the space. We're not going to go near any of the vehicles. So don't go in between vehicles or in front or anything. There's only a couple of them in here. There's a total of 4. But I'm going to be keeping an eye on the EMF readings. Obviously, you're going to have to take my word for it. Again, I'm not going to say, oh my God, we have the highest I've ever seen. But even though the highest I've ever seen has been in this space, we're going to talk about that later. So I'm going to be kind of doing my thing and then bouncing around with you guys to see what's going on with your devices. So he has an extra earbud. So if you're comfortable taking an earbud and listening in with him to maybe help him out a little bit, because he seems to be, still struggling. Have you heard anything yet?
Before I heard the number 40.
40?
Number 40.
Yeah.
I heard 99. And I heard when you said you're going to ask questions, I heard we're not going to answer.
Oh my gosh. Is that crazy, Nick?
Because I didn't want to interrupt him, so I just started jotting them down.
Well, we're going to find out. Because
Have you heard that before, Nick?
this is one of the space, like I said, I've had those grumpy like teenagers coming in here disrespectful, and when I say that it's a disembodied voice, it goes over 13 radio stations. Hold it by the left side and you stop it, we lose all the footage you've already taken. That's why I say don't handle it by the camera. Most people will handle it one-handed.
Okay, so would I have to hold it
Just
like
don't-
right here?
Yep, you got it.
Put your left hand in your pocket.
Sorry, Nick.
You're good. It's your night. You have to
Okay.
remember, like I've done this hundreds, if not thousands of times.
Okay.
So again, I want
All
you
right.
to have fun.
All
That's
right,
the
I
whole point.
apologize. What are my questions? So
Her
the
death.
president, and then
How old?
how old?
How? Where? Where's she buried?
And do you want me to go like around here, look to see if I see anyone?
Nice and slow. Slow motions.
Like
So
just slow
even if you
walking?
wanna, yeah, just slow walking. Or you
Okay.
can stand still. That's perfectly fine too.
What was her name?
You don't have
Eliza.
too loud.
Eliza. I'll make sure I get the name.
Okay, you guys all tangled up?
I thought I heard a name on here.
What's the name?
Jacqueline.
I don't know who that is, but I'm gonna find out here. I'm actually expecting a little bit higher rating tonight just because we did have lightning strikes in the air.
Okay.
Should raise like the base levels up a little bit. I don't know if you can see what I'm looking at. I'm always watching the top number to see how it changes.
Okay.
It's measuring electricity in the air. So,
So
right
what would a normal
for this,
read?
like a normal read from the Earth is up to 1.1.
Okay.
So anything like that 2.5 is the second green light on your guys' K2 meter. So I go to 2.5 as a baseline, and I keep escalating it. So far I'm up to an 18.6. I'm not going to be recording anything below an 18.6.
Okay.
I want to see how high we can get it, and that way I don't have a whole notebook full of numbers.
Got it. So if I saw some sort of whatever spirit, it would it have it would look like them, right? Like it would have
It would look like them, but it would be completely blue or black.
blue or black. Okay.
Like completely. Facial, hands, the whole nine. Like there would be no skin differentiation.
Okay.
Like the whole thing of what I've caught in the past from that particular device has been completely blue or black. And it's moving, like right towards me.
All right.
Pretty cool stuff.
Or not.
When
I
can-
have a place. We have my husband and I have a place that is definitely. I wouldn't say that the place is haunted. I would say the surrounding area is haunted because we live on a lake that was a logging area. So people died from the logging incidents, drownings.
Sure.
We had a train right in front of our place that people died. So I don't consider my house haunted, but it's definitely. Oh my gosh! Now what do
Yeah.
we do?
Well, we find shelter. That's
Okay.
why I was looking around to see
Okay.
where everybody's at. Michelle,
Michelle, we gotta go find
we
shelter.
gotta find shelter at this point.
Okay, where do we
And then
go?
We're gonna look at the rain and kind of see what to do next.
All right.
We're actually gonna go back to where
Okay.
back to the big red barn. There's a little outfit. Michelle, see us? Yeah. You could stop your videos at this point.
Oh,
Try to
okay.
protect the gear.